In this video, we are detailing everything that would happen to Abu Tricia. If you've been following the streets for a while, then you know that once the FBI puts your name on their paperwork, the game switches instantly. Every movement becomes a risk. Every phone call becomes evidence. And every friend becomes a potential problem. And that is exactly the situation Abu Tricia, known legally as Frederick Kumi, finds himself in right now. The boy has crossed from the world of local hustle into the world of international crime. And that shift alone is enough to change the ending of his entire story. To break down what will happen to him, you need to understand the crime itself, how he was monitored, how he was arrested, what charges he is facing, and how the U.S. federal justice system handles people in his exact situation. And since this is Wicked Blogger Ghana, we won't sugarcoat anything. We will talk the way the streets talk, but with the accuracy of someone who knows both the local landscape and the international system. No subheadings, no shortcuts, just straight talk from offense to outcome. The offense itself is the kind of crime that the FBI doesn't just chase casually. Romance fraud, elderly victims, cross-border funds, AI-generated fake identities, and an amount that crosses millions. Once the dollar value in a fraud case crosses a certain threshold, it doesn't matter if you live in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, or Timbuktu, the case enters a different category, one that is handled by special units inside the FBI, sometimes aided by Homeland Security, sometimes connected to Interpol, and sometimes tied into the U.S. Attorney's Office for Financial Crimes. When you combine all these agencies, it means one thing: the case is no longer small. And the person involved is no longer dealing with local laws, they're dealing with international agreements. What made Abu Tricia's case worse is not just the money involved, but the demographic of the victims, elderly Americans. Once the feds see an elderly person has been scammed, the case jumps into the Elder Justice Initiative, which is a powerful federal structure dedicated to punishing people who target older Americans. The U.S. system views that as a double crime: financial harm and emotional manipulation. That emotional angle makes judges harsher. It makes prosecutors more aggressive. It makes investigators more determined. And that is why a case that started in Swedru has now become international news. So how did he get on the radar? The system didn't catch him overnight. It wasn't because somebody snitched on him immediately. The first red flag usually comes from financial institutions in the U.S. Banks that notice repeated transfers from elderly clients to strange foreign accounts. Once the bank sees patterns, they alert the authorities. Once the authorities open a file, the investigation begins. The FBI doesn't start by chasing the big name.